Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, we ready right now. It's about time. I know it's about time. It's about time.
And welcome everybody to Command Time Podcast presented by the Fans for Sports Network. It is your boy DT with Caleb and Kayla today with another episode. We are back all together, gang. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing good.
Good,
The
good.
season ended on a solid note.
Okay,
Making
Caleb,
it
we
to
we
the.
go we go
Taylor,
with
bring your mic down. I mean, not your mic, bring your camera down. There we go.
Is that better?
No.
yeah, we can
A
tell it's
little
been a while.
rusty. People a little rusty doing these podcasts.
Is that better?
Mm. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. There we go. There we go. That's better. That's better.
All right, well, it's good to see you again, Kayla. And Caleb, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Good. Just free to see. Period. Gonna get a little crazy.
Yeah,
Tampa
it,
starts
it,
on
it
the
is it
10th.
is definitely getting crazy on the timeline. I had to get off of it, man. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. So let's go ahead and get started, man. So obviously we are getting to the new league year, which is next week. We already seen a couple of cuts and stuff around the league, and let's go ahead and talk about a couple of those. Obviously, one of the main topics at hand was the fact that the Commanders did trade for Deebo Samuel for a fifth round pick for this year. So Deebo, pending the physical on March 12th, he'll be officially a Washington Commander. And Kayla, we want to hear your thoughts. What are your initial reactions to the trade, and how much do you feel this will help Washington next year?
Yeah. So when I first heard the trade, I was actually pretty excited. So we got a weapon, and that's what you want to do with a young quarterback, especially on a rookie contract, one that's shown you something. You provide them with as much talent as possible. As long as they're on the field, you got a quarterback can get them the ball. They can still create. He's not won't be our only weapon. This roster is still building. We still have a lot of people that's leaving the roster. So you only got 3 wide receivers signed for next week. So I think just a weapon, and any offense would like a weapon, just especially a Deebo when he's motivated. We can see that he's been motivated these past couple of weeks. He's starting to get back in the gym. He's just going to turn up this year. He made a tweet today. It's going to be different. He's going to actually give himself a quarterback. Not saying he hasn't had a quarterback. He hasn't had a quarterback like Jaden giving him the ball. So a weapon in any backfield is good.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So it's kind of crazy. The past couple of days since we got the trade, I have a lot of people come up to me, and obviously, the most casual thing they're gonna say is, "Why did we trade for this guy? This dude is washed." Um, I don't think people realize that within context. I'm a very contextual person. Within context, the San Francisco 49ers are loaded with the amount of offensive talent they have. They have George Kittle, they have Brandon Ayuk. They traded for Christian McCaffrey, and even have a guy like Juwan Jennings. And each of these individuals on that very same team, all of them have had career years um, up there. I think it's pretty wild to me how everybody is just going to say, okay, the 1 year. But despite all of that, Ayuk has only had one good year. George Kittle, he's probably the most consistent guy out there. But when's the last time he has had 12 to 1,300 yards? I mean, like, Have we seen that in a while? Has George Kittle been getting fed the ball consistently with Brock Purdy? Juan Jennings last year, I know obviously those guys were dinged up. He had his first 1,000 yard season. So everybody in that offense eats. So I think the whole casualness of like him not getting the 1,300 yards like he did 2021, I just find that outlandish. But he's still putting up a good 700. Oh my God, they go in the comments and say, "Do y'all see this, bro?"
Yeah.
Well,
They nasty. Okay, they funny, man. But look, like Caleb and Caleb, I just find it very casual to say that. Like, is Deebo going to be a 1,300 yard receiver consistently? To me, absolutely no. But he's the type of guy that we need because if you look at the past wide receivers that Terry Gordon has played alongside with, he has never had a guy that has had over 700 yards or 800 yards. The closest was what? Curtis Samuel, 600 yards, and that was in 2022.
Yep.
Olave Zaccheaus had 500 yards last year, and that's still not good enough. So that's what Deebo provides. But I think we also got to say, in respect, to not disrespect him, I see Deebo more as a weapon, as an
Yep.
offensive weapon. This is not going to stop us from getting a wide receiver too.
yeah, I mean, I've been saying when it comes to Debo, when people have these discussions about him, he's not a wide receiver. He's like you said, he's a weapon. He's a football player. Um, I don't expect him to have 1,400 receiving yards like he did in 2021. If I can get 2023 Debo, who had 1,000 all purpose, I'll live with that. He had 892 receiving yards, 225 rushing yards. He's also still one of the best yak receivers in the league. Despite it going down a little bit, he's still the best, one of the best in yak. You give him the ball in open space, he's going to get you something. So those end arounds, those screenplays with that we had with Diami and Olamide and Jameson Crowder, or even sometimes with Terry, Debo
It's going to take it to the house.
Debo is going to raise the floor on those plays. He's going to get more for you, and he's also available. Yes, he played all 15 games the last 2 years, I believe. Uh, Yeah, he played all 15 games. Now, you can say that some of those games he may not have finished because of his injuries, and I understand that. That's just the way he plays. He's 29 years old. He's on a 1 year deal. It's a fifth round pick. He's taking up 20 million against the cap. It's a prove it year for him. They're not gonna extend him. But knowing Debo, knowing just how he is, not only on that Netflix show, but what you see just on in the games when you watch him, he's a competitive player. He's a prideful player. He cares about. I guess I can't say he cares about what the league says or what his peers have to say. I mean, maybe deep down inside he does, but he got something to prove.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't need prime Debo. I just need somebody that can be competent in the offense. I'm not going to get elite Debo, but if I can get a Debo that is going to give me 700 plus receiving yards and a couple of touchdowns, this it's going to help us a lot. You know how much misdirection we can do now with Debo, and it can be a lot of eye candy. So they did a lot with Brock Purdy, and it worked. Now imagine when you have a mobile quarterback back there, when you're doing these end arounds, and you're faking the end around to Debo, and you can hit Austin Eckler, or you can hit another receiver or another running back that we should draft behind the line of scrimmage, and he's on the other side, and he's taking it to the crib. Or Jaden can keep it himself, and he can get 20 plus yards. So I don't think people are laughing at the idea of this. Like when we traded him, oh, he's old, he's fat, this and that. Okay, all right.
Keep that same energy. That's my message. Just keep that same energy
Debo's not a bad player, and it's not a
at
big
all.
risk. It's
That
it's
whole
it's
49ers
not.
team had a bad season last season.
He also caught pneumonia mid-season. So before he caught pneumonia, he 5 games. He had 77 yards per game. After that, it was 44 yards per game. So like, bro, he had
That's
a over
interesting.
he had over 1,100 total yards with 12 touchdowns and 23.
Did not know that.
Yeah, yeah. So again, y'all can y'all can laugh at this trade, but if you really sit down and watch football and film and the X's and O's, he's impactful. He's impactful. So I'm not gonna
Commanders.
say too much, man. Like I'm. It's really not much to say, DT, because there's going to be people that want to troll this. They want to troll this trade.
Yeah, they
That's
are.
the NFL.
He's also number one in yak over expected too. A next gen stat. That's more than AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, and Cooper Cup and Chris Godwin. That's between 2019 and 2024. So he's still a yak god. So
Yeah,
when
that's what we need. Like,
so when Jaden is dropping back and nothing is open deep or over the middle, you got. I mean, who was that guy that had that video? Emmanuel Acho. He said a dump off guy. Excuse me, a dump off guy. Nothing's open. Here, Deebo. Here you go. Dropping it off to you. You do what you do. He can get you at least 6 yards. Those fourth and ones or those third and ones, they become more manageable for us when you have Debo and you have Eckler back there. And like I said, another back there. Then you got Jaden back there being a threat. So, okay. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be very interesting to see. Like, he fits perfectly. He fits
I can
perfectly.
just imagine all the stuff Clip is going to do with him.
okay, so let's talk about this though, because obviously we said we don't believe. Well, we don't believe. We know this is not going to stop them from adding another wide receiver. So let's talk about the wide receiver room real quick and project this room real quick, because there's been a lot of conversation. As you guys can see, um, a lot of people are talking about the DK Metcalfs and Devontae Adams. Um, and I know we're pretty much are all going to all agree those guys we're not going to pursue.
A
Like
thousand percent.
I just feel like what Adam
Or
Peters.
Ayuk. We're not pursuing her Ayuk either.
Oh yeah, the IU thing that shit is hell. Hey, look, the 49ers thing, that's a whole other conversation. We'll talk about it another day. But I, for me, when you look at Adam Peters, he's always going to get guys that fit what the Commanders want to do and what the culture is for the Washington Commanders. And those guys are a Zacchaeus, a Noah Brown, and also say Diami. But I think we're going to be in the territory where we see that with this wide receiver market, how not as strong as it is. It has some names, but with preferably a weak class of free agent wide receivers, they're going to make some money because of the supply and demand and what teams need this year. So for those people that were saying that Diami, they will bring him back on like the 7 and what is it, seven around 7 to 9 million. That's gonna be far over that.
Yeah, Tutu Atwell, I think believe just got 10 million, correct?
Yeah, and Daniel's going to get
For
10
one
mil
year.
somewhere.
And to be quite honest with you, the Atwell deal, that is the floor.
Yeah, that's just the floor.
That's just the floor for a Diami. Are you guys in on bringing Diami back, or are you guys okay with him testing the market and he finds somewhere else?
I want to draft a young receiver to replace a Diami. Honestly, we can still pick up like maybe a Slayton or maybe a Nick Westbrook. Out of Tennessee to round out this room. But they can still bring back maybe either Oz or Diami. That depends. Either if they go size in the draft, they probably bring back Oz. But if they go like a smaller speeder receiver in the draft, they'll probably bring back Noah Brown. But I think Miami is pretty much gone, honestly.
Yeah, I'll bring him
Okay.
back.
Definitely appreciate what he did this year, though.
I'll bring him back under 10 mil. I'm not paying you over 10 mil. But
He wants his money.
I mean, Slayton is a good option. Christian Kirk is gone. You got Hollywood Brown, which I would love to bring Hollywood Brown here. That's speed right there that you have at the wide receiver position. Yes, he's 5'11". Yes, speed. Like speed still kills. Like I need some like it would be nice to have some speed on this team. Um, you also can still go to the draft. And they're going to fill out this wide receiver room. It just depends on what they're looking for and how they fit the system. I mean, you could get another outside receiver as well, but you'll probably have to get that in the draft because they're not trading for DK
And then
unless
also, if you're building a
unless
roster, go ahead.
unless with that report that Seattle had, they said the only time they'll probably trade Debo is during the draft. So a
I,
team,
I just
a,
don't see it.
you don't see
That was
it.
like, I don't think with us building a team where we are, we're not at the point yet. Even though we had a solid season last year, we're going to have another solid season this year. We're not at the point yet where we can just, we may have the money. We're still building a team. Still a lot
Mhm.
of players are on 1 year, 2 year deals. I don't think we're at the point where we can pay three receivers like top in money. Like
And Terry's
maybe next
gonna get
off
that 30
season
too.
after we have another solid season this year. But I think if we want to go get us an edge, we still got to get us a guard. I don't think we're in a position to pay like three top end receivers high money.
I agree. Even though if Terry does get paid, I think people were saying it would free up some cap space, but still though, like the thought process of trying to pay that amount of money, like I just feel like for right now, I think the Debo trade and potentially another trade talk that we'll get into, I think those definitely be the good things for us. But another thing about Debo is like the fifth for trading him for a fifth round pick and him paying him 17.5 mil. That's like top 20 in the wide receiver market, and you're still getting guys getting paid. So that's just going to go lower. That's going to be a steal if he gives us the season we expect out of him.
Yeah,
So that's
crazy
that's
flipping a
definitely a win right.
Jahan Dotson to a Deebo Samuel. That's
I mean,
crazy.
it's crazy. Like you think about the moves they're making. But another thing about the Giambi thing is like I would love to have Giambi back for the simple fact of one, really three things. One, he's 25 years old. Two, continuity within this offense. He finally has Cliff, who was able to utilize him, understand what his strengths and weaknesses, and utilize and showcase his strengths. And just honestly, for three, just the ability to push the ball downfield. Now, however, there is another guy that can really do the same things he can, and that's a Darius Slayton. Now, Darius Slayton, he's I believe he's 28, but he's also has shown far more consistent and has a better resume than a De'Ami Brown. Would you guys be enticed to sign him to a bargain deal?
I would get a Darius Slayton and also add another rookie to fill out the room.
DC, let me ask you this, and
Hmm.
Kelly, you can answer too. Who would you rather have as a wide receiver three, Darius Slayton or De'Ami Brown? Like just based on what they've shown.
If I'm going based on what is shown, I'm going with Darius Slayton.
It's
Okay.
Slayton.
Darius Slayton is also available too. Um, since 2019, he's played over 13 games. He's never missed. He's always played over double digit games. The least amount of games he's played is 13 games. So he's an available receiver. Um, Now we always talk about on here on social media how Jaden is a force multiplier. We've throughout the whole season we've seen Olamide play better. We've seen Jamison Crowder have some good reps. We've seen De'Ami Brown have some good reps.
Noah Brown.
We see Noah Brown has some good reps, and Darius Slayton was stuck with Daniel Jones a lot of the
He
time.
still was
So
producing.
you got you got Jaden who can we've seen have made players better around the players got better around him. So give me Darius Slayton.
Desperation. Trey, you might have to explain that. I'm not quite understanding what that
Yes,
is.
we have 3
But
open slots, so I think we keep one of the ones we have. We sign one of the lower tier free agents, and then we get a rookie. That's what I would do with the last 3 spots. What would y'all do with the last 3 wide receiver spots?
the floor for OZ.
I think he's talking about the contract I talked about.
Oh,
Atwell.
yeah. Funny thing is, Darius Slayton had more receiving yards than Olamide this year. I think Olamide had shoot. Olamide had 506. Let me see if I was wrong. Let me not speak too soon. Darius Slayton had 573. Right, I'm not trolling. I'm really not trolling. Like he's a solid wide receiver 3. He's a good wide receiver 3. So like he's good. Is he okay? So let's.
We're listening.
So I'm looking at Riri. You misspelled Miles wrong. Come on now.
I'm with Miles Sanders. Shout out to
listen. So we know Slayton's not better than Terry. Slayton's not better than Deebo. Slayton is better than Olamide. Slayton's better. We both agree that Slayton's better than Diami, right, DT?
Yeah.
And is Slayton better? It's better than Jamison Crowder. Let's be honest. So
That's 100%.
he's going to uplift the room. Now I'm not, and that doesn't mean I'm stopping there. To Kayla's point, like I still want to just get better. Find ways to get better, but you're still adding to the draft as well. And then you still got Luke. So Luke is an unproven commodity. Yes, I love Luke. I'm a Luke stan. He has to develop at that position. He has to gain more confidence at that position. We saw him emerge as a solid kick returner for us. He had some good reps. But I'm bringing him in. It's either him or Hollywood Brown. I wouldn't mind bringing them guys in. Hollywood Brown will be the fastest receiver on this team. Yes, we want bigger receivers, and I do too. But there's nothing wrong with bringing in guys, but still adding to the room.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad pickup. You just got to continue to add to your team, bro. Like he's better than guys other than Terry and Deebo.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
it's all
Troy,
about
I agree.
elevating and making the roster better. So at the
I
end of the
agree.
day, on a yearly basis, is how
I,
can you improve?
I still want to add a rookie, whether
Me
that
too.
be
That's been my point. I do want to add a rookie receiver. We need to get one. Hopefully in round 3, depending on how if we move back in the draft. But I want a rookie receiver. Like a Higgins, a Harris, Ty Felton, but yeah, I want a rookie receiver.
so.
Even
DT, if
one
you had
later
to
in the draft,
choose,
Kyle Williams. I've heard Kyle Williams
if
come
you
higher
had
on
to
board.
if you had to choose between Slayton and Hollywood Brown, who would you put, or Chris Godwin? I'd take Chris Godwin too.
I,
I would take Chris Godwin over both of them if they're available, if he's available. But I don't know what the Bucks are doing. I don't know how they're going to extend him. The only thing with Chris Godwin is that injury, but I got to look up his injury history. But if it's Chris Godwin, Slayton, or Hollywood Brown, I'm picking Chris Godwin.
Well, we're all going with Chris Godwin, man.
Yeah, I'm picking Chris
not
Godwin,
even
and then Cooper Kupp may get released too. I'm not sure how you feel about him, but you just have older receivers
Cooper. I actually wanted between Cooper and Deebo. I actually wanted Cooper.
Cooper and Deebo.
Yeah,
So
but
did
I
I.
didn't have a problem if they got Deebo. I mean,
So did I.
The,
So did
the
I.
the only thing with Deebo, what interests me is the personnel uses they can use in the run game and stuff like that. Like they can use him as like a running back, do like a running back screen with Debo, or motion and stuff like that. He would provide rushing upside to help the run game. But Cooper Cup would have been solid too. I would have had no problem with either receiver.
So speaking on Chris Godwin, who if he hits free agency,
Mm-hmm.
I'm adding him. So these are his injuries: hamstring strain, concussion,
Oh, he
hamstring
was nasty.
strain, fracture in the finger. He had a foot injury. He had
Most
an
of these receivers have had injury history that's
yes.
available, honestly.
He had an MCL sprain. He tore his ACL 2021. He pulled his hamstring and he dislocated his ankle. Slayton is better than Diami, bro. Like DT, we don't
That's
we
not
just
even debatable. That's not debatable.
it's
like,
Slayton is better than Diami,
I'm
bro.
always
like
going to
Emmy
take
had
the
a
guy
good,
that has
a
consistent
solid
production.
year
Because
in four
Slayton's been
years, but
consistent throughout his
Slayton
whole
has been
career.
way more consistent.
He's been consistent.
And he played with Daniel Jones for Christ's sake.
Yeah, the he never had 1,000 yards, but he had 4 700-yard seasons.
We ain't had 700 yards. That's what
He
we
had
were.
four. He had 4 700-yard seasons. He's better than Deami Brown, and that's okay. He's
It's
better.
perfectly fine.
He's
It's
better,
called
and he
we
got
just
more
want to
touchdowns.
upgrade.
What are we talking about here? But
You were asking would I choose between Slayton or Hollywood Brown. I believe that's what you're going to ask
yes,
me.
yes.
With his offense.
See, Hollywood been injured though, bro. Like, and he was
Even with the
like,
Chiefs last year, he got it
yeah,
nicked up. But
but
all
no,
like
like
I
he
just
was he
stated,
was
all
hurt
his receivers
when
have injury history.
Cliff brought him over there. He whenever he
Hollywood.
signed with the Cardinals, he
Yeah, I
didn't.
mean, I mean, the Cliff made a bad decision in spending a first round pick on him, though. That was not a good decision.
Cliff did or
Whoever
Baltimore.
their GM was, but um, that he's 5'9". He's less than 200 pounds. He may be less than 185, but that boy fast. That boy fast. Um, he's he's fast. And he had a couple of good seasons with Lamar. But like I said, bro, like we're just naming names of guys who are available in free agency. Like it's okay to grab one of these guys and still add to the draft. Like it's okay. Like you're still gonna add to the room. Would I want a Matt Golden? Yes. Would I want a Jaden Higgins? Yes. Or Caleb wants Ty Fulton. You got the guy what's his name? DT Horton from is it Colorado State?
Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado. You
And they
got
got
him.
Webster. They got two solid receivers over there that's
That,
underrated, honestly.
if you can get a receiver in this draft that fits what you want to do, that fits your need, which you need a receiver that can block as well. And that's another thing about Deebo too, DT. Deebo can block. People don't pay attention to that on the film. He can block. He's not the best blocking receiver in the league, but he's still good. That's one of the reasons why I wanted Cooper Cup too. To your point, DT, he can run every route and he can block his ass off. But Hollywood Brown had one. He had one 1,000-yard season, and that was with the Ravens. He barely got 1,000 yards.
And blocking receiver is something that we know that this coaching staff values. That's
Yeah,
something we know that this coaching staff values. So
So
with another position, I got a question about what guards are y'all looking at to fill in for Cosme to start the season free agency wise? Or do y'all want to move Wiley over in this draft at right tackle?
no.
no,
To
I
me,
think you. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
to
ahead.
me, I would just sign a high floor type of guard, someone that's that's not someone that can just play until Cosby get healthy
Would you
again.
go rookie?
I mean, they could possibly no. The only
So
problem you go rookie is I feel like the interior class is
Not
much
great.
better a little bit outside
Yeah,
of some of the
tackle.
tackles.
Yeah.
And some
So
of
I
those
would,
tackles can slide in the guard too.
yeah. So I would probably just sign a guard in free agency, let him spot start a couple games until Cosby is fully healthy, like a Will Hernandez played in Arizona, guy like that.
Yeah. Ah, shoot. Yeah. Damn, that sucks. That Cosme injury sucks, man.
And it happened at the worst time too.
I mean, thank God the Raiders signed Alex Kappa. He's bad. Um, he's not good. I mean, Brandon Sheriff is available. James Daniels from the Steelers.
That's who I. He's not great, but it's not a great guard free agency class.
Kevin
Honestly,
Zeitler
he's okay.
is he played with the Lions. Decent guard, like you said. DT Will Hernandez, Makai Becton.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I don't think that. I honestly don't think they're really gonna let him go.
and
I want to, but I don't think they will let him
if they
go.
release him, I'm bringing in Makai
Me
Becton,
too.
bro.
That's my one, but I honestly don't think they let him go. But
But I
that's who
mean,
I want.
you got to get a guy.
We have to.
You can get a guy. I would get one of these guards just because we need the depth for one. That's just the starting point.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
concern.
but you can have him spot start for Cosme. I would draft a guard in this draft if you could, and you can develop him, and then when Cosme gets back, the guy you just signed at guard, hopefully he can play left guard a little bit. I mean, you got to win the job over Nick Allegretti, but they're just not going to give it to somebody. He's going to have to earn it. But if they can get a rookie offensive lineman, tackle or guard, doesn't matter to me. Just let's find some trenches to develop. Because we met with a lot of offensive linemen in the top 30 visits.
I mean, that's really my problem is with this whole like trying to touch on the old line situation. Like, I love Nick Allegretti, but in my honest opinion,
Replaceable.
he is replaceable.
Of course.
Like I
That
just
Cosme
feel like
injury didn't happen, we
he'll
would be
not be
shopping
more
for a left guard.
than he'll not be more than uh, a spot starter at times. Like he's solid, but he'll have some limitations that will show up on tape and stuff. So he's just an average player, and you don't always
He's
have
a
to have
solid
elite
for
guys.
depth. He's a solid for depth, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So
You don't always have to have elite guys, but if you want a better position, to me, I would better left guard with a guy like Donovan Jackson, put alongside with a Coleman. Then you could put Allegretti on the right side with Wiley, and then when Cosby come back, he just be a guy that you sign for 3 years, but he'll just be a backup. To be quite honest with you,
I mean, here's some more guys. You got, oh, he's bad. Kendrick Green, he's not good.
no.
Lakin Tomlinson, he's getting older. He's 33. You got Ben Cleveland for the Ravens. He's 26.
What's in
Um,
Cleveland?
I
Cleveland
mean,
intrigues me a little bit.
I
you
just,
He, he
Tevin Jenkins from the Bears, Robert
that's
Jones.
who I would want, Tevin Jenkins. I wouldn't be mad at Tevin.
I mean, you got Dalton Reisner. He's 29.
that could.
Wes Schweitzer's out there. John Feliciano from the Niners. Like you have to you have to add some depth to this offensive line. You can never have, and this is what Howie Roseman has said. He's in our division. He's right. You can never have too many offensive linemen or too many defensive linemen. You just never can. It's the same thing with corners too. You can never have too many corners, O line or D line. You can never have too much. So they have to follow that model. Like you have to develop depth for this team.
You have to build your team to beat the teams within your division.
I
And we
agree.
know the teams in our division, they are all strong. Well, Dallas have taken a step back. The Giants have, but they all have solid defensive lines. And over the years, they've all had solid offensive lines as well. So we
Yeah.
have to have solid both, honestly. Not top tier, they have to be solid.
Yeah, so
Agreed.
it'll be interesting what they do in that spot. If it was me, I wouldn't be shocked any one of those if we have any one of those draft picks early, if the best player available is an interior lineman, they take a shot and get that guy. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I could see. I mean, I know we met with Josh Connolly from Oregon. I like him a lot. I think we met with one of your guys, DT, Josh Simmons. I think we met with him.
Simmons, they probably did.
I think we met with him. Now, if he's there at 29, no brainer.
Yeah,
No brainer.
May not be the flashy pick, but we have to get better at the trenches.
No brainer. Now you could trade back if Simmons isn't there and you don't like the player that's there at 29. You could trade back and pick up Josh Carley. You can pick up another edge depending on how they're flexible with this draft.
which likely they'll probably do.
And we know Adam Peters. Just what he did in year one. He's not afraid to be aggressive. He's not afraid to trade back. He just isn't. He knows what he's looking for.
He's on every call as well.
The scouts knows what he's looking for. He's not afraid to trade within the division. He'll trade back and get more assets, and he'll keep trading until he get what he wants or he sees what he likes. So and I wholeheartedly, whatever he does, I believe he got the best interests at heart. So like I said, bro, we just need to keep adding to this team. Corner 2. We can get that in free agency. So we got money to play with.
Is there any particular corners you guys are looking at during free agency? I know
I like
about the Wards. We talk about DJ Reed, but
Michael Jackson. That's one I've been looking at. I looked a little bit of his tape.
from Carolina.
Ooh.
Yep, Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. He play man or he play a lot of zone. Do you know, Kayla, or no? If you don't know, it's okay.
I think he played both, but he's like a younger player.
Don't lie to me.
I'm not. You can look it up. I watched the game. I watched a few of it.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look.
I'm gonna ask my boy Josh about him.
I mean, you got Charvarius Ward, of course, Adam Peters ties, DJ Reed, another guy that Adam
What
Peters
about a
drafted.
Trayvon Diggs? I've been hearing that name.
No.
I was just throwing it out there.
No.
I'm just throwing it out there.
No. He ain't coming here. He ain't coming here.
Oh, I don't want. He's been hurt.
I mean,
And if he came here, I wouldn't be upset.
I'll say this though: if he's healthy, oh yeah, he coming DC without question. But I don't think he's. I mean, I'm not a person that keep up with Dallas Cowboys injuries and stuff like that, so I don't know severity. But I've just been seeing a lot of people talk about the injury and also talk about the cap hit. They could save maybe 9 to 10 million if they let him go. But it'll be interesting because then that means they definitely will be in the market for corner. So, hey, we need a guy to get turnovers, dog.
I mean, Trayvon got 3 injuries for his whole career: shoulder, foot fracture, ACL tear. So I mean, and I know this year I forgot what got him hurt. I don't specifically remember, but I'm not looking at him as a realistic option. I'm looking at DJ Reed and I'm looking at Charvarius Ward. You're bringing any one of those guys, this corner room is better. If you care about size, then you bring in Charvarius Ward. But DJ Reed ain't nobody to sneeze at either. He's a good player. You can bring him in.
I feel you. But
Charvarius is 6'1", 196.
Hey, dog.
He's 28 years old. He's available. He's played on average, over 13, 14 games in a season his whole career. This past year, he played 12. Other than that, he played 17 in back-to-back seasons, 13, 14, 16, and 13. So he's mostly available. He's somebody that can stay healthy. So
Yeah.
and then you have I mean DJ Reed, he's healthy too. He's always
Yeah,
played over 14 games.
is he five
He's five
nine like
nine. He's five
Mikey?
nine. He's
Okay,
5'9", 188.
but
And
he played 6'1".
that
Okay,
boy
that's
can
not what.
play. that
But
boy can play, boy.
I'll be cool with both. But I could also see them. You remember the guy last year? What's his name? Yanadam.
Isaac,
Yeah.
yeah,
He,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can see him probably swinging the block and probably coming, but as like a deaf guy. I can see
Yeah,
him coming as a deaf guy.
yeah.
But hey man, I'm just saying, if Trayvon just magically get healthy,
It's you add. I would really. Now that I think of it, if I'm going with my gut between DJ Ward or Travers, I'll probably choose Ward. I mean, if you care about the size, but that's a nice DB room. Hopefully, Marshawn can do some Zen or some yoga, whatever, to get his shit together. Um, so he come back fully healthy. You got Ward, and you got Mikey, and I'm still bringing back Noah. That's
That's
a
a
that's a good
yeah,
corner room.
Noah, I'll bring Noah back.
That's a
that's
good
solid.
corner
It's
room.
all even, and it's always good to have a solid slot corner.
That's a good
He's
corner room.
underrated this season.
And then you can play dime. You can play dime, DT, and you can have Noah and Mikey out there, and you have Lattimore, and you have Ward on the other side.
Yeah,
That's a good DB
And then
room.
he also maybe in the seventh round or maybe undrafted free agent just for depth wise, for another outside corner as well.
yeah, most definitely. Hey, we got a question. Another thing we should answer it real quick. So, Smoke in Sports said, if we add a high caliber name to the corner room, do these corners stay on one side of the field? I'm going to go ahead and answer that first. Yes, I do believe they're going to stay on one side of the field. Um, Me personally, I get it with the whole having a corner one guy and things like that, but I don't think necessarily within this defense they want to do a lot of traveling in a sense. I think we only when we got Lattimore, we only let him travel like what? I think it was one time, and that was against AJ Brown. Well, AJ Brown and Evans.
Like
Those are
Evans,
only two times. Obviously, most definitely more lows than highs. But me personally, I would not let them travel. I let them both stay on one side of the field, and especially if you get like a War who be the same physical architect like a Marshawn, and you have Mikey who plays just like outside his body frame. So I wouldn't have them switching sides.
I'll keep them on their sides unless it's like maybe if we play like the Saints, like not maybe this year, but like in the near future, if we play like the Saints or a team like that, I'll let Marshawn travel from here and there. But he just got to get healthy. Like I think this off season is going to be mainly focused on him getting healthy,
Yeah,
fully healthy in our training facility. Which this past season, our even though we maybe had like maybe two bad injuries, I think it's the most healthiest team I've seen we've had in a while. And that just proves like the recovery days that this coaching staff has for them. They actually have training training equipment for our players, which is actually insane. Saying that in the past we didn't have enough training equipment for our players.
Let me
So coming from a team like the Saints who didn't take care of their players, I think a full off season will help him. I'm not saying he about to be no all pro, no pro bowler. He's gonna still be a solid corner, still be respectable, I think.
let me let me ask y'all this. Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram.
Depends if we bring back Bates, honestly.
Do you want to bring back Bates?
And you have to have it's the way with this offense runs. You have they use a lot of tight ends to block. Do
Now,
you think Ben is going to take that next step in blocking?
I think Ben is a pretty solid run blocker already. I
You think he
don't think
take
he's
the
better.
next step?
I don't think he's better than John Bates. But I mean, with what Kime said on some of his pods, it's like John Bates brings something to the tight end room that
A lot of
hmm
teams
not a lot
have.
of tight ends can do, and that's block really, really well. His rookie year, he was actually one of the best blocking tight ends in the league. Now you want more from him, of course. Can you upgrade him? Can you upgrade him with Evan Ingram as a receiver? Yeah, I think Evan Ingram is a better receiving talent than John Bates. It's faster, more twitchier. He's more productive as well. I mean, he had over 963 receiving yards in 2023. Evan Ingram did. He only played 9 games this year as
We,
well. But
I do believe we do got to pick up a tight end because even though Zach Ertz had a solid year, he probably gonna have. At some point, you got to prepare for that regression, another tight end to groom under him as a
well, that
pass catching threat.
that's why you're grooming Ben Sinnott. So Adam Peters is collecting these players. He's collecting these players in the draft. He's collecting impact players that can start day one, like Mikey and Jaden. And he's also getting players like Coleman and Ben Sinnott and Luke that he's trying to develop over time. So as far as the more reps they get, he's banking on their work ethic. That's what he's banking on. He's banking on their work ethic and their athletic traits. So yes, you still want to add to the room to up the competition in the in on the team. So I'm not you just don't give Ben Sinnott the job after Zach Ertz leaves. You still want to add to that room in free agency
So we're
and the
saying
draft.
like in the season, if let's say mid-season, Zach Ertz isn't like the same as he was this year. Like he was still producing, but like it's like a little bit stale. Trust he dropped a few more balls. Do you think Ben Sinnott can take over in that pass catching role,
I
and this
can't answer
offense
that.
still
I
be
don't
fine?
know. I don't know. We've seen he caught one touchdown this year, and he had a good catch in that Eagles game. And I think Logan, I don't know if you're listening, Deuce. You probably are. So you know it's a checkmate whenever I mention Logan Paulson. Logan Paulson said he just lost. He had disinterest at a certain point of the season.
Hmm.
His mind was out of it. He discussed that with Craig Hoffman on his pod on Take Command. Um, at some point, he just I don't know. Like the mental aspect of the game wasn't there for him throughout the season. So he needs to get right in the offseason. You need to put in the work because he has the talent, he has the physical traits to play, to be a solid tight end in this league. I'm not asking you to be one of the best in the league. I just need you to contribute. I don't care if it's 500 or 600 receiving yards. Just contribute to the offense. Go ahead, DT. You about to say something?
Yeah. About Senate, and me and Deuce have kind of been not gonna be going back and forth, but I just gave him like an opinion or a suggestion, and I think it's kind of big in terms of what will happen. Me personally, if I feel like Bates can take the next step in his development, we know he's a solid blocker, but also in terms of like become a receiving option to be the tight end too, then I wouldn't, me personally, I wouldn't try to hustle and try to bring Bates back. But if he hasn't taken that step, then yes, bring John Bates back. But I would still draft a tight end
Like a
for the
Mason
future
Taylor,
that can learn under
he's probably gonna be
Zach
fine.
Ertz and be that receiving option we need in the passing game. And maybe, Senate can still have some viable role in the passing game as well. It'll just be a way to scheme him up. Because there's been times he has been schemed open, but either Jaden missed him or, the offensive line collapsed and stuff. But I'm still going to give Senate a chance, but it's going to be interesting to see the next year And we know when it comes to tight ends, it takes a while for you to click. And from what the report's saying, especially Logan Paulson, who played that position, talk about like professionalism, like being an NFL player, also learning the tight end position. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot different from Kansas State to an NFL room. So we'll just see about the tight end spot.
I mean, yeah,
And like we can say, every NFL team is not perfect. So if it's a position or two that don't have high end talent or is not filled, that's okay. There's not one perfect NFL team,
and
and everything can't get done in one off season.
he's very young. He's 22. Like he has more time to grow. Like he has more time to grow. Like you should see an improvement in year two. You should at least see some flashes from him. And then Jaden also has to become and I want Jaden to do this in the offseason too, with guys like Luke, with guys like Ben, and even the rookies when they come in. When any offensive rookie that comes in, Jaden gonna be putting in the work in the offseason. And I want him to bring those guys and say, yo, follow me. We gonna get this, we gonna get right. Get them rookies together, include Luke and Ben Sinnott in that, develop chemistry with these guys on and off the field.
Okay, so I do have something to talk about real quick. Let's talk about this because this is obviously the news for currently that deals with Washington. Edge rusher is a need. Obviously, edge rusher need, and we know we talked about Myles Garrett, but now Trey Henderson has also requested a trade. Um, the latest update is, and shout out to our guy Josh Taylor. He was a guy who wrote the news about Deebo. He gave us an update about it, talk about the trade. He says the gut says third round pick would get it done, but now more of that update is they're talking about the cost of the trade will likely be a late second or early third round pick.
Hold
I'm
on.
okay with that, and it just
Find
move
me.
back in
Hold
the
on.
first
Hold on.
round
Hold on. Hold on. Let me find that.
to add more picks.
And it's Jonathan Jones. He's on NFL on CBS.
So if he was to get a Trey Hendrickson, I want Miles. I'm not going to say that I don't know. I done made a song and everything that I'm thinking if we end up with him. But if Cleveland just keeps taking forever and keep taking forever, we got a team to build. We can't keep sitting on our hands, just keep waiting, making calls, keep giving till no. We got to continue to build. If not, we going next thing you know, ain't going to be no edges for us to take. So if that is the case, Trey Hendrickson will be okay if we get a second or third round pick. We just gotta move down in the first round or in the second round to acquire more picks.
Yeah. DC, would you give up a second for him?
Now I'm kind of like what Josh said. You see this comment? I'll probably give him pick 79 on the 6 next year. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I was in a Bengal space and one of them said a late first. Yeah, you're bugging. You're not getting
that. Yeah,
you're not getting that.
They wild, bro.
Now,
You still gotta pay him. Nope.
now a second.
Only way I'm giving away is second. We gotta move down in the first.
And to be honest with you, bro, at this
When we
point,
have a first, a third, and
now, DT, let me ask you this: if a team like the Bears or the Falcons, the Bears have a lot of draft capital, by the way. So, and they're in on this too. There's a lot of teams that want this guy, and as they should. 17 and a half sacks in back-to-back seasons. He had 92 pressures in one season. That's insane. He's a decent run defender, but he's there to sack the quarterback. But if a team is offering a second and you're Washington, are you giving up your second and maybe adding some, or are you just going to stand pat and be like, nah, we good. We're going to add, let's say, a Khalil Mack or
don't you dare.
I think Khalil going to be
you said what, Kayla?
Chargers.
I said, don't you dare say no, Joey Bosa.
For a year.
You want Joey Bosa for a year?
For 1 year. If
Mm.
they add if they add Bosa for 1 year, do I want Bosa? No. I'm not saying like I gotta understand, bro. When I'm giving out these names, these are not guys that I want to covet for this team. These are guys that are on the table. These are guys that Adam Peters is looking at. These are guys our coaching staff is looking at. They're looking at a Bosa. They're looking at a Khalil Mack. They're probably looking at a Josh Sweat. They're looking at of course, they're looking at a Miles Garrett or Trey Hendrickson. These are guys that are on the table. So we have to talk about these guys. we just have to.
All of them but Bosa, but
I mean, yeah, no, I
Yeah,
understand.
we get it. We get
yeah.
it.
But this isn't a guy that is on my top 3 priority list. But like Trey, like, am I willing to give up a second for him? We have what, the 40, what's it?
61.
61. And where is that at as far as like 1 through 32?
That's like
Middle of the round?
Yeah, it's a late second.
So a second and a future pick, like a future 6 or 7th this year. What about that? Third.
You have 3 7s, but Deuce won a kicker, so that's gonna be deal.
So if we get a
but that kicker he want may go undrafted, bruh.
So if we get a Trey Hendrickson, we definitely got to move back at some point in the draft to get
Yes.
Yeah, if we trade for Trey Hendrickson, it's without question that first rounder is going to be traded. We're going to trade out
unless there's a guy there that you can't
unless
pass
there's a guy
up.
there. Then you just try to find a way to trade either the second or third round pick, wherever you pick you didn't trade, and try to trade back, make some comps. AP got this.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm worried about is not having enough picks. That's all. But other than that,
I'm just mad that the Bengals legit are about to have no edge rushers. And my boy,
they said they'll get 3 guys in the draft that'll get 10 sacks.
This is nasty, bro.
Isn't that what they said, Caleb?
I don't know what they said. I ain't been in Spaces. I ain't been in Spaces almost a couple months, bro. Oh man, but yeah. Me personally, I'm like Josh. I'll probably give up pick 79 and maybe a 5th or a 6th next year and keep it moving. But I mean, we'll see, man. Like I think honestly, I think we'll pull it off.
And we're getting one of the edges. Which one remains to be seen, but I want it to be known.
I think we pull it off. Get Henderson. I'm just gonna say that now.
You said what?
I think we're gonna get Henderson. I just feel it. I
ain't gonna say that until the deal is done.
Okay, well, shoot.
You speaking it into existence?
I'm speaking into existence.
Well, if you speak this stuff into existence,
how about you speak Miles into existence? Speak that.
Speak Miles? Nah, because that's a mild task at hand.
It is. It is.
and look, like, and shout out to Jamal for trapping out the podcast. Like he literally said it. Like, Trey is available. Miles is not available right now. And honestly,
on your hands waiting. Teams want to keep adding talent to their rosters. Yeah.
Man, this is crazy, bro. All right, what's the last thing?
What we got in the comments, DT? I'm just curious.
All we got is Belante spamming.
Oh, Jesus. In all caps?
Someone in all caps. I'm not reading all that, bro. I'm like, Deuce.
Messing up the algorithm.
But look, man, like, I think we can pull this Henderson trade off, bro. I'm just gonna be real. And if we don't get it, hey, it is what it is. We move.
If we don't get him, I'm not tripping. I can still get a good edge in this class. Like, I'm not upset. Like,
yeah,
the sky doesn't fall.
But if we do get him, we see the vision. We move.
It just depends on what you pay him. I'm not giving him Max Crosby money. I'll give him. He's 30, so I give him a 3-year extension. It's going to be less than Max Crosby. I'm sorry. He's like, just due to the age.
Well, ain't him and Crosby the same age?
No, Crosby's younger.
How old is Crosby?
Younger. You know how old Max Crosby is?
Is he
He's like
27 or
28. He like
20?
28, right?
Max Crosby's 27. He's 3 years younger. He's in his prime right now. Like Trey, you can
No,
say is still in his prime,
But it's
but
close.
your concern about Trey is how long is he going to be doing this? So, but me saying that basically, how long is he going to continue to have 17 and a half sacks? He may have 13 next year, and that's still good. Now, those 13 sacks depend
bro,
on.
like
Go
if
ahead.
we looking at it though, like I'm looking at it from just the Bengals 14, 8, 17 and a half, 17 and a half. He's probably up there in the last 4 to 5 years, up there with the top pass rushers in the last 5 years, bro. I can't get mad with that dog. I don't even care if he's 30. And
I
he's a
think he
decent
got a solid
he's a
training
decent run
camp.
defender, like you said.
He's
Well,
decent. Yeah,
shucks.
he's decent in run defending.
We ain't had no run defenders that is. Well,
I
we
mean,
need
he
that.
he had 19 tackles for losses this season, bro. Like he led the league. He was top. He led the league in sacks, bro. Like,
And then I think, and then also, isn't Kerrigan still a part of the coaching staff? I'm not comparing the two, but he can help him as well. I'm not comparing them at all because I've seen a lot of that.
What he need help on?
I'm just saying, just him being like, I don't know, just him being there.
What he need? Anybody, if
the hell he
anything,
need help
he'll
for,
come in the
Kayla?
room and teach Baptiste some moves. You know what I'm saying? Or whoever the edge we draft. We definitely drafting.
Landon Jackson, that's who I want. Landon Jackson.
Yeah, he'll be nice.
We got to trade back to get more trades.
Yeah,
If we
that's
would
gonna.
have trade, we got to
We'll
trade
talk
back.
about that next episode.
Yep.
But we're going ahead and get ready to wrap it up, man. This was definitely a good episode to tap in tonight and talk about some of the rules. We'll definitely talk about a little bit more moves, especially next week, because it's going to be some of the stuff be official. Yeah, man. So where can people find you guys on social media?
CXLEBJXSTIN.
That's
Same.
KPOW0922. And don't forget, it's never the Cowboys' time. Definitely not the Giants' time. And not below the Eagles' time. But it's always command time.
All right, guys. You guys can follow me on my YouTube page, currently at Darius Ricks. Also, watch the NZID podcast. Dropped a couple of episodes. Got some great views and stuff so far. Also, follow me at D Cleveland Jr. on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram at DT_Sensei. It is your favorite crew, your favorite commander crew.
Before you end, there's only two. Just a little nugget. Just a little stat. Jaden and Lamar are the only two quarterbacks to average over 50 rushing yards a game this season. The only two. Two of the best dual threats. One of the best dual threats in the NFL.
Jaden's just going to get better. But Lamar is too, but Jaden's going to get way better. But yeah.
Hey man, that's definitely a good send off. But this is Command Time Podcast presented by the Fans First Sports Network, live on YouTube. We will catch you guys next week as we get you prepped up for a wild week, as it'll be a free agency friendly, and we'll have much more NFL draft things to talk about for the Washington Commanders. It's your boy DT. We got Caleb. We'll see you guys next week.
Got me feeling so free, free.